Hello, hello, it's Barb Pask. Going to paint for you again. I am working on an 8x10 panel, my favorite size. I went shopping yesterday to the thrift store. I was trying to think what might be fun to paint, and let me show you what I bought. Spin you around. I got it set up with a light. Look at those. They had all kinds of funky shoes, and those caught my eye because of obviously the red color and the black interior and the bows. Aren't they fun? So I decided, tried a lot of different ways to set them up. I definitely wanted to see the heel on the back shoe. So we may paint these a few times, and I may go back and get some other ones. They had all kinds of crazy shoes. I think some of them look like from the 80s. I do have it lit, and one thing I do like, I like this shadow that mirrors the bow. So let me spin you back around. I put my view catcher on it, and to decide if I wanted it vertical or horizontal. And this is a view catcher, if you don't know. Wonderful little tool. You can adjust it for the size of the painting and then look through it to set up your composition. So I set it for an 8x10, and I tried it horizontal, and I really liked the way it filled the canvas vertical. So that's what we're going with. So I think I'm ready to go. I tried to be. We'll see how it goes here. Forgot to grab my brushes. This is one thing I do because I paint almost daily. I use water mixable oils, and I clean up with water, and I rinse the brushes out, and then I stick them in a Ziploc bag. Once in a while I clean them out really thoroughly, but I mean, they're soft, and I painted yesterday. It works well for me because, like I said, I'm painting almost every day anyway, so you wouldn't want to stick them in there for a week. They'd probably get hard on you. All right, so I frequently tone the canvas. If you watch me, you probably know that. I don't think I'm going to do that today. Let's see if I can get you maybe a little closer. I think we're just going to sketch it on and go from there. Again, these are water mixable oils, so I'm thinning down with a little bit of water so I can sketch it on. And we'll look through our little view catcher and try to set up that vertical composition that I like. So we'll kind of look to see, start out and kind of see the toe is there, the back of the shoe is there. Just kind of figure where they sit on the canvas first. And I'm not real worried about my sketch being perfect. There's some printing in the shoe, so I even kind of drew that in. Anything that will help you to, get the length of them correctly. I can see some of the inside of the shoe there. I have a friend that's been sharing kind of old fashions and dresses and shoes and hairdos, fun things on Facebook for a while. And yesterday, I think, she put it on a picture of a whole bunch of shoes, and the toes were pointy and long, and I just can't. I said, those are for killing bugs in the corner. I just can't imagine wearing them. Let's see a little bit of the sole. And again, I really like this shadow that mirrors the bow shape. Maybe we'll go thrift store shopping like once a month or something, and I'll look for an item from the thrift store to paint. Wouldn't that be fun? Okay, now one thing that can help us is we can look at this negative space in between the shoe. Look where the heel fits. You know, just look at the space inside to help us sketch it. I used to wear high heels years ago. Now I'm more into comfort the older I get. Women used to really dress back like when I was a child and my mother was a young woman. Women used to really dress, and men too. Men wore hats and... Okay, let me look at this space again. That's a little close. The bow from this angle actually obviously goes out beyond the shoe. And like every still life we paint, when we paint the background in, it will help us define the shape of these shoes. Okay, let's look at this. This goes a little up in here more. And the shadow goes out there. Looks like that toe needs to come down a little bit more. Something doesn't feel right about this negative space in here. Let's look at that a little closer. Hey, welcome to my channel if you're new. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing, please. Looking at the negative space, trying to get okay. I want to be painterly with this. I'm thinking maybe I've got a off-white cloth under there, so I'm thinking we'll stay with like a light gray background. And I think we'll start off with a pretty big brush. These are Rosemary and Company. This is their Evergreen series. They are a softer brush than some, and it's pretty wide. And we're going to try to stay back and across the brush and stay to the end of it. All right, we'll mix up. I use a limited palette, 2 blues, 2 yellows, 2 reds, and I do have transparent red oxide on here, and usually I have Indian yellow. So I'm just going to take the transparent red oxide and the ultramarine blue. That's pretty dark value. And we're going to start and paint the inside of the shoes first. I don't always do everything the same, but most generally I work dark to light. All right, even though the whole interior is black, you know, obviously parts of it are catching light and not as dark. So we'll go for the darkest part we see first. And again, you can see this is a pretty big brush. But if you go big, if you can go big, stay with the largest brush that you can handle. Your paintings will be looser if that's your goal. And it usually is for me. I like that. I find that more exciting. There's a shadow in here. And we may find when we start painting the red in that maybe everything is not just quite right and we may have to adjust, but okay, and we've got some reflections. There's also some printing in here, which we probably may suggest. Okay, so let's put a little white in this. I want to lighten it up a little bit. I lightened it up and I put a little blue in it. You know, you want your colors to be attractive too. And sometimes, you know, things can be mostly gray, but do you want to, you know, paint it that way? Maybe, maybe not. Okay, this is catching much more light over here. So we'll make a change before we get to that. And it's much warmer, so we'll throw a little yellow in there, a little more white. I mentioned this maybe last time, I recently discovered the TikTok app. Kind of fun. There's a lot of things on there. A lot of just everything really. And I started a channel. Part of the reason was for my paintings, to try to get people to come over here. But I even put a few like nature things on there. I showed how I make bark butter, it's called, for my bird feeder. And so if you're on there, find me. I thought I'll just share some other things about myself. We're into feeding birds. We feed birds every day, and squirrels. Mostly squirrels. But it's all fun. You know, as I'm seeing this, do I like it? I think it's a little too yellow. But we'll see. It's a little early to judge. You got to try to resist changing and changing and changing, you know. Sometimes you just got to get things covered and then decide. Because everything's relationships, and until everything is there, you can't really judge completely. this is much lighter here than over in here, but yet it's lighter than this. This up here is catching. We'll see how long we stick with this brush till it starts aggravating us. I think I will switch to not a small brush, but a smaller brush. This is the size I'm switching to. Whoops. So, all right, let's mix up, for the darkest part of the red part, we're going to mix ultramarine and alizarin crimson. So it's a really dark purple. There's not too many areas that require that. Down here in the toe of the shoe, there's a dark red shadow. And even though you can't really read what color that is. Okay, I'm looking for any other that I see. A little bit here under the bow. And the inside of the bow is fairly dark. What I'm mixing now is just cad red light and alizarin crimson. I'm just taking the two reds that I have. One is cool and one is warm. And we'll have to, of course, warm this up in some places. And then there's lots of wonderful highlights. I painted a lot of baby shoes over the years. I really like little shoes. And I've sold some. In my bathroom there, actually, I have 3 framed pairs of baby shoes that I painted. This comes down. tricky to lighten red because when you lighten red with white, you cool it. So I have some white in there, and then I added some yellow to try to warm it back up. We'll see. So you could have very carefully sketched these all out with pencil. I feel painting and drawing I'm drawing with paint. So the light's really hitting across that toe. I was talking to an artist friend of mine yesterday about the importance of drawing. She feels strongly about, and of course you need to learn to draw. And I feel as though I'm drawing with the paint right now. But there's a lot of different things and you can learn a lot of things just drawing. You can, if you draw with charcoal, you can learn, or pencil even, learn about value for sure. When you go to transferring, say you've been drawing for a long time and then you decide to start painting, you'll have a whole different set of things to deal with. Color mixing, how you're, of course with drawing you're thinking edges and stuff too, but okay, let me shut up here a minute and think what I got. Get this right. inside of that heel is a light color. Was it Sex and the City? Remember that series? And she always wore those real expensive shoes. And I think the sole of them was red, I think. I don't have any, don't have to worry about it, but I'm open to suggestions if you got something you'd like to see me paint. I'm not saying I definitely will, but I sure will consider it. Oh, I don't like that at all. I was trying to go with kind of a neutral color and I threw some yellow in it. I don't like that. Let's get rid of that. We'll get rid of that yellow before we're done. I don't care for that. No worries. All right, I'm going to switch to a little smaller brush and look at these dark accents again that I might need, that might help me like explain like the inside of that bow. I'm going to dig out my little script liner brush. I might use that for highlights. There he is. Hold on. All right. A little tiny brush for now. I'm thinking about some of these highlights. We'll start with pure white. I'm not sure whether that's what we'll want or not. And it may even be a little early for this stuff, you know, in May. It's the fun part, so of course I want to do it. If I was teaching you, I would tell you no, it's too soon, that you leave this stuff till the end, but all right, let's, again, the background I want to be a gray color, a light gray color. And so we're going to mix up something using all three primaries. We'll take our ultramarine and yellow, which is going to make a green. And we'll throw red in it and decide from what that looks like. Too green, we'll put some more red in it to kill it. Now the shoes are red, obviously, so I think even though it's going to be gray, if it's going to lean toward one color, I feel like it ought to lean maybe toward green, which is a complement. So I'm thinking a grayed green. You know, you just make these decisions as you go along. Let's get the shadow in for the shoe, what we see here. This heel, we might have to adjust that. It's too long. It's more up into there. I'll put the description, I'll put the link to my website in the description box if you want to check out more of my work. The stuff that I paint eventually usually ends up on there for sale. But if you're ever interested in something that you don't see there, just reach out to me and give you a price. I'm pretty reasonable. I paint a lot and I love to see it, you know, go home with somebody. Better than it's sitting around here. I've actually got, I don't know, we'll just see what feels right here on the shadow. Maybe a little bit of the darker color down here. All right, I'm going to take my palette knife because it's just a quicker way to work, and we'll throw some of this color on the background. Okay, let's switch back to our bigger brush, push this around. when I get to painting in the background, then that's when I always wish I'd have toned. I like having that color on there to work into. Switching back to this to work with. I realize that heel needs work. We're going to go back to it. Getting into that red a little bit, but that's what happens when you paint wet into wet. I think it was Bob Ross talked about happy accidents, didn't he? I like happy accidents. I mean, sometimes you get something, a very cool effect that you weren't, you didn't really try to get and you can't really control, but you like it and you leave it. Can be a color or a stroke or talked about happy little trees, I know, didn't he? He seemed like a very nice man. He liked animals, so he had to be a good guy. Looking to see this edge here is much skinnier than I have it. I think I'm going to I know maybe this seems silly to you, but I'm going to paint that heel out for now. so I can get it correct. You know, we've got a pretty one-tone background. You know, do we like that? Oh, I see something that's important there. Let me get in. Where the background color goes up under that bow. So that explains that that bow goes out, hopefully beyond the shoe. Just having fun explaining the bow a little better. We still don't have that heel in. Let's see where it is. I'm looking at the printing inside of the shoe now. deciding what I want to do with that. Part of it's catching more light than some. I don't really care what it says. I want you to be able to see that bow. It's the first time I've washed any of my brushes. I've just been wiping them off up to now. I just want to... All right. The shadow feels a little hard to me, which makes it feel a little solid. Okay. I'm going to try something. I'm going to put a little red in this shadow. Kind of thought it might feel like the shoe was casting that bright red color down that way. Alright, we're going to sign it. Doesn't mean I won't come back to it and look at it, but and I don't normally do this, but I'm going to sign it in red because I think it's fun and I think it kind of works with what we got going on there. That's a lot of paint on there. Wait a minute, I'm going for a littler brush. Little teeny tiny brush. Get you in there. That may or may not work. It's not sticking too good. Let's get into a little crimson. All right, I'll back you out and show you around. We've been at this not quite an hour. That's pretty good. There they are. Let me take you in. See, I wanted the bows to stand out, so hopefully they do. And I put in the highlights that I saw. Take you back around to the shoes. Kind of fun. And I may move them around and do different positions. I'm not saying they're perfect. I mean, when is a painting ever perfect? But, you know, I enjoyed it, you know. Ruby red slippers, right? Hope you enjoyed watching, and please like and subscribe if you haven't, and if you hit the little bell below, then it will notify you when I upload a new painting. Join me again, please. Have a nice night. Bye-bye.